What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the FF Ballbusters podcast. Today is Monday, March 13th. My name is Will. Joining me today is my co-host Eric. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling great this morning, man. Glad to be here. Glad to get into another video today. But before we get into that, we have some exciting news to announce. We just recently partnered up with the FF League winners, so we will have a link to their site down below. Go check them out. They're an awesome resource. They have a ton of great other content creators contributing to their site, but we just joined the team as well, so we're going to be doing videos for them and stuff like that. But on top of that, and good news for you guys, is they are also partnered with Underdog Fantasy. So we have a promo code to promote. The promo code is FFLW for Fantasy Football League winners. They will give you a 100% deposit match if you are a first-time user, up to $100. So please go use that. We'll have that on the screen here. We'll also have it linked down in the description. Support us, support league winners. Let's ball.
Absolutely. We also have one more sponsorship to get out the way. It's our boy Zay and Do Numbers. If you guys like this hoodie, why lie, numbers don't. We'll have a link down in the description below for you guys to be able to click on the website, check it out, check out other merch. Also, we have a code for them as well, is FFBallbusters15 to get 15% off of all orders. So if you like this hoodie or any other merch you find on there, you can cop it finding that using that promo code. So that's awesome right there. Yeah. But with that
waiting for my hoodie to come in too. I got mine in the mail.
Yeah, but I'm super excited. But with that being said, today we've got some roster reviews to get into. We know it's taken a while, but we finally did find the time to get around to it, and it's coming out now. So we got another roster review for Mr. DJ J-Dog, and we also have a roster review for Mr. Maxwell Moore. So with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into that with DJ J-Dog's roster.
Yeah, so this is his second appearance on the channel, so thank you, both of you guys, for engaging with us and leaving us these roster reviews. But we'll get into J-Dog's here. He says, "Hey guys, just finished the startup draft. It has a separate rookie draft. If you wouldn't mind taking a look at my roster, I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to compete this year or not. Any advice is welcome." He also mentions that the people in his league love to trade. It is a 10-team, super flex, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 3 flex league. He's got a fair amount of rookie picks here, which we can get into after the fact. But the main players on his team: quarterback, he's got Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. At running back, he's got Christian McCaffrey, J.K. Dobbins, Joe Mixon, James Conner, Devin Singletary, and some depth behind them. Wide receiver, he's got Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, Rondell Moore, and again, some more depth there. And then at tight end, T.J. Hawkinson and Zach Ertz. And then the last note is, after he had sent us this, he made a trade and said, "I may have messed up a little bit, but you guys can grade me on this trade too. You live and you learn. I got Amari Cooper and J.K. Dobbins, as well as a 2024 fourth. In doing so, I traded away my 2024 first, second, and my 305 this year." So I included them in the roster list, but Will, I'll toss it back to you for your initial thoughts on his team.
Initial thoughts, I like the quarterback position. I like Jalen Hurts a lot as a quarterback. You know, he's young. Obviously, he's playing at an MVP level right now, so you can't really ask for much more than that. As for Tua, before yesterday, his sort of status was a little bit more up in the air, but as of recently, they actually just picked up his team option, so he will be returning with the team. He will be playing. It's just a matter of if he can stay healthy now, so Tua's playing when he's out there. He is a very talented player. So, again, that's another good pickup if that pans out. So you're hoping for Tua to stay healthy there. I love the running back position, honestly. Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, he's getting towards the later half of his career, but still a very effective player, especially with the 49ers. Joe Mixon, kind of the same story there with the Bengals. J.K. Dobbins, we're hoping that next year, we get to see more of those flashes we saw his rookie year, and he's getting healthier. Even last year, he was playing on like one and a half legs, and he was still playing pretty well. So that's pretty exciting to see. And then the depth, of course, is always good to have. The wide receiver position, for his starting 2 wide receivers, can't really ask for much more than Jalen Waddle and T. Higgins. 2 guys that are going to go out there and perform. Amari Cooper and Mike Williams. Also, kind of streaky as of players themselves, but also known to go out there and perform as well. And at the tight end position, I really do like the tight end position. You got T.J. Hawkinson, who's with the Vikings, who just recently got rid of Adam Thielen. So I'm looking to see T.J. Hawkinson take a pretty big step up in that offense soon. Another young guy as well. So, it's a pretty solid all-around team. Do you think he'll be able to compete this year?
That's a good question. I think based on the trade that he just made, I think you're probably leaning towards competing. So that's kind of what I wanted to get into first, is how we felt about that trade that he made.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think I probably would have rather had the picks. But if you're looking to compete, I think it makes sense. You know, it's a win now move potentially. I think in overall value, it wasn't really that bad of a trade. Like maybe it was a slight overpay, but I do expect Amari Cooper and J.K. Dobbins both to have bounce back years this year. I would expect Deshaun Watson and that Browns offense to look a lot better in year 2 than the initial go round. So I would expect better things for Cooper, and obviously Dobbins getting healthy should be trending upwards for him. So what are your overall thoughts on that trade?
On that trade, yeah, it's like you said, you're hoping Dobbins gets healthier again, which he's working on this offseason. Amari Cooper, he's the biggest wild card in all of this. Do we know what first round pick it was that was traded away? It's just the 2024 first. We don't know exactly what it's going to turn into, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how he performs this season.
Yeah, really. So It depends on if your team does end up performing or not. Man, that's actually kind of tough. I don't know. It's just one of those, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what the implications of all this is in the future, because we just don't know what these picks would have turned into. But Amari Cooper, it's not the worst pickup in the world. I know a lot of people were back and forth on him this year. A lot of people were low on him this year, and he overperformed expectations. He pretty much played as well as he has any other year. But I'm just not sure how long he's going to keep doing that. That's the issue.
It does seem like he's been in the league forever, but he is still only 28. He's probably, right at the end of his prime, I would say. He's not ready to fall off quite yet. And hopefully if Deshaun Watson picks it up, I would expect him to pick it up as well, fantasy-wise. But as far as you had said, you might have messed up a little bit. You said be gentle when judging your trade. I really don't think that it was that bad of a deal by any means, especially if you're looking to compete now. I think it's honestly a pretty good trade. I might have gone the other way, but again, it's just all up to you about your mentality for this year. But if that's the thought going into this year, that we're trying to compete, let's try to think of some things that could help you do that. My initial thought is you probably want to acquire a third viable quarterback for bye weeks and potential injuries, because Jalen Hurts, not that he's had a history of injuries, but has he had a full season under his belt yet without an injury or missing time due to injury?
I do not believe so, no.
I don't think so. And Tua with the concussions, we're hopeful that doesn't continue, but it's always a possibility. So behind him, you only have Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz, Davis Mills, Sam Darnold. Not trustworthy names by any means.
Yeah, I don't see any of those guys really starting this year, to be honest with you. So it is a little scary. Your quarterback section looks a lot like mine. Mine is you actually have quarterbacks. So,
but yeah, so my kind of trade target would be a guy like Mac Jones. I think that there's a potential for that offense to have a huge bounce back, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be amazing offensively, just from near the bottom of the league to maybe closer to the middle. I think Bill O'Brien coming in as the offensive coordinator is going to help things. And I think Mac Jones, everybody got hyped up on him after his first year, and then, his value crashed back down this year. I think maybe we should be meeting somewhere in the middle. So he's probably a little bit undervalued at this point in his career.
Yeah, and he could end up playing out really well. Bill O'Brien, very underrated as an offensive coordinator, due to his GM and, head coaching skills. But as an offensive coordinator, he is really good. And you got to remember that Mac Jones had Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator last year, who had never coached offense. So, yeah, you're hoping that'll turn around. So looking for guys like that would be great. Looking at the running back position, you've got some people in here that maybe you could work into a trade, maybe you could work your way out of. I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire, somebody who's possibly on the move this offseason, so the hype for him could build up depending on the landing spot that he gets. Or you could keep him for yourself as well if you like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I personally wouldn't. But what do you think about the running back position over here?
Yeah, so again, it's tough to want to trade away these guys if you're trying to compete now. But looking at your roster composition or the starting lineup that you have, it's 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers and 3 flex. So with three wide receivers and then that many flexes, I would put my focus into wide receiver depth. And right now, you have a decent stable of receivers, but I think you're going to need probably more than what you have now. And I also think that Joe Mixon and James Conner are probably decent sell candidates right now. Joe Mixon, I think it has the potential to get cut this offseason, actually coming up pretty soon once free agency hits. That's not a guarantee, it's speculation, but we've heard rumors and rumblings about that. So I would probably try to sell him before that happens, if possible. Connor, I don't think he's a candidate to get cut, but I think he's just nearing kind of the end or the slight downturn of his career. So if you could package one of those guys, maybe like Gabe Davis, who I'm not as high on, and also in a situation where I feel like the Bills are probably going to bring in more wide receiver help. So if you can offload him before that happens with free agency and stuff coming up, the draft coming up, package either Mixon or Connor with Davis and try to get to the tier of wide receivers where it's like Treylon Burks, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Godwin, Ayuk, Hollywood Brown, somewhere in that range, I think would be a good idea.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I would also even try to package Odell in something too. I see you have Odell down here. There's always going to be a lot of hype no matter where it is Odell lands at. People are always going to say, oh man, he's back. Me personally, I don't think Odell's the same player he used to be. I still think he's a solid wide receiver. I just don't think he's the elite wide receiver he used to be anymore. He's getting older. And depending on the landing spot, who knows what he's even really going to end up doing. And for some reason, teams didn't want to touch him last year at the end of last season. So you kind of got to take that into account as well, just thinking about Odell as a player himself.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of news recently, his most recent workout, that teams are interested again, and that he's asking for like $20 million a year. I don't imagine that he's going to get that, but maybe some team will go out there, give him a good amount of money. There's going to be hype around him, exactly like you said, Will. I was in the same boat. I had this written down. Sell Odell as soon as he gets signed. When the hype is at its highest, before we see him on the field, before we see the real product, try to get him off your roster. But not yet. Wait until he's signed, in my opinion.
Absolutely, because it's just, like you said, it's always going to be through the roof no matter where it is he lands at. Everyone's going to say Odell's back because, that's the player he used to be. But I don't know if he's still that anymore. I don't think he's still that anymore.
Yeah. So if you were to follow that advice, hopefully, you have 2 already really good starting quarterbacks. Hopefully you'd have a third at this point. You're still rocking with Christian McCaffrey and J.K. Dobbins. Maybe you lose some of that running back depth from trades, but you gain it back in wide receiver depth. And then also, we haven't mentioned yet, but you have rookie picks 108, 203, 206, 301, and you have some more later round picks as well. You can use those. You don't want to be too set in stone. You want to take the best available player in rookie drafts, regardless of your needs at positions, in my opinion, and then you go from there and try to make trades afterwards. But if the 108 happens to be, depending on how enamored people are with quarterbacks, maybe that could even be Jahmyr Gibbs that late. Maybe it's Zach Charbonnet, or it could be Quentin Johnston. You could bolster your wide receiver core even more there. And then I would definitely hammer running backs in the 2nd and 3rd rounds there.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of running back real estate in this rookie draft this year. So if you need depth at running back, there's a lot of guys you can take chances on. Like you said, Zach Charbonnet, another one who's great for those late 1st round picks, early 2nd round picks, even if he slides that far. So yeah, honestly, that's a great way to build your team up right there.
Yeah, 100%. And then to put some names on some of these middle round guys, like at the 2nd round, probably Kendre Miller range, maybe Devin A-Chain, depending on the kind of draft capital and landing spot he gets. We like him. Once you get into the 3rd round and even 4th round, because I see you have some later round picks there, Evan Hull is one of my favorite kind of late round sleeper guys. What do you think about Deuce Vaughn? Are we completely out on him?
For a 3rd round pick, I'm not out on him. I'm not on Deuce Vaughn. I think it's okay. 3rd or 4th round.
I think 4th round, I'm willing to pull the trigger. He's so electric, so exciting. Just the size is a concern. But yeah, I just wanted to give you some names to potentially put on those picks. But to answer your question, or to give you advice as far as like whether you should compete or not, I think if you were to be able to make some of those moves that we just talked about, I think you're in a good spot to compete this year.
Yep, definitely agree. And now we are going to move on to the second roster that we have, Mr. Maxwell Moore. Just to list out the team rules, it is a 10-man league, PPR, Superflex, starting 9 players, and it is a quarterback, Superflex, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a kicker. And just to list out the players he has on this team, at quarterback, he has Patrick Mahomes.
Can we say, before we get into this, Maxwell, we are very glad that you're a fan of the channel. You seem like a really cool dude. We've engaged with you. We've talked to you on Twitter. You're in the Discord now, which we didn't mention at the top of the video. We have a Discord open for fans of the show if you guys want to come in and talk to us. So thank you for being the first one to join that. You're an awesome guy.
I don't know what you want us to say about this team, man. What do you want us to say about this?
This is an absolute God squad. I don't know how you assembled it. I was talking to you on Twitter. I said, how is this even possible? He said, because I'm the trade god. And I was like, you got a point.
I think you're playing in a 6-team league, bro. Maybe 4.
He says it's 10-man. He might be lying. I'm not so sure. But that was my preface. Let's get into the run.
Yeah, we'll let you guys be the judge of that. It's going to get crazy real quick. Quarterback, we've got Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, CJ Stroud, Geno Smith, Matt Stafford. At running back, we're looking at Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, A.J. Dillon, and Rashad White. At wide receiver, we've got just a little Justin Jefferson, little A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Wan'Dale Robinson, Elijah Moore, John Mechie III, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. And rounding it off at tight end, we just got to chill Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, and Greg Dulcich. Yeah.
And then the kicker. In 2024, he has 8, count them, 8 first-round picks. He says, any suggestions? Bro, no. What are we supposed to do? So
my suggestion is that you tell everybody in your league to find God, because I don't know what it is they're going to be able to do against you, to be honest.
Yeah, we can get serious. There are a very small handful of things that I might be able to recommend to you, but you are clearly killing it. Again, I don't know how you assembled a roster this outstanding. You literally have the number 1 player at every position.
This like
every single position.
It's like the 2017 Warriors when they got Kevin
better
Durant.
Than that.
Yeah, it's even better, obviously. Yeah.
Like it does not get better than this roster. So you are and the thing is, you're in win now mode. Also, you're set for the future. Like you're just going to be crushing it for years and years and years. So congratulations to you for being able to assemble a roster like this. But we'll try to get serious here for a minute. I have a couple things. Will, do you have anything in mind, or should I get into my ideas here?
You can get into your ideas, but I do have some people that I would definitely try to just offload just because he could, honestly.
Yeah. So my first look here is, I mean, you're stacked at every position, but at running back specifically, like you have Bijan, Breece, JT, CMC. You have A.J. Dillon and Rashad White. Like, they're not going to do anything for you. Also, I feel like, there's a potential trade window, maybe not for A.J. Dillon, just because Aaron Jones already got re-signed. I was going to ask you your thoughts on him. But Rashad White specifically, with Lenny getting cut, I think that there's a trade window there, because I do expect the Bucs to bring in more running backs. It's not just going to be him in that backfield.
Yeah, I was taking a look at that. I was like, Rashad White's probably the first person I would try to trade away just because of that window. The hype is going to be, he's the starting running back right now. And yeah, that's for right now. But taking a look at A.J. Dillon, I would also let him go as well, just because he is behind Aaron Jones. We saw what happened last year he kind of got buried in that offense behind Aaron Jones. And we don't really know what they're going to do next year, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there, or what the team's going to look like. But yeah, honestly, I don't think any of those moves are going to look great for A.J. Dillon.
100%, yeah. So Aaron Jones just got extended, actually. So he still has 2 years left under contract with the team. And Dillon is going into his last year this year. So he's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2024. Like you said, we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there or not. So this team could end up going into rebuild mode. If they do, I don't expect them to prioritize the running back position. So I don't know how much you could sell A.J. Dillon for, but if there's a market for him, you might want to look to offload him. I think Rashad White is probably the better sell high candidate there. And then as far as what you should be looking to sell them for, again, you don't have needs. Like this team, there's nowhere to go.
You've got every
as, like,
first round pick
positional.
next year.
Well, there's still 2 more.
Yes, true. You
and
could
maybe
go for
you
the
should
sweep.
Try to go for those.
You could go for the sweep. That would be crazy. You had every oh man, imagine adding Caleb Williams to this team.
Oh my god. It's just not fair.
I just don't think you got enough room for all these guys. That's the biggest issue, is that who do you start every week? Because your team is so good that there's decisions to be made in having a great team. So do be careful with that. That's something I always try to, you've done it too, where you try to trim the fat by the end of the season because you know who your starters are going to be. But if you have too many good people and you're making too many decisions every single week on who to start, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a lot.
I mean,
but it's also a great problem to have.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Took the words right out of my mouth. Depth is important to keep, especially in Dynasty. So I wouldn't be looking to sell guys just to sell guys, but that's not what you were saying at all.
No.
But yeah, I guess I would probably target more picks just because, that's the most liquid asset that you can have in Dynasty. You're the trade god. I assume you already know that. And yeah, you don't have any needs, so you're not looking to bolster any of your starting positions. Just load up on more picks and keep working your magic on those trading streets.
Yeah, and if you can get those other 2 first, let us know, because I got to see that, honestly.
Yeah. Hit us up at the end of next year when you are lifting the trophy, and we won't take any credit because I feel like we really didn't do much just now.
No. But this is cool, man. I even like the John Mechie, having him on the team. I hope he plays this year. I'm excited to see him, man. Hopefully he gets back healthy. Sure. But with that being said, that's going to round off our roster reviews. Thank you guys for watching and sticking with us this far. Don't forget, check out the links down below for those promo codes and anything else you want to check out. Also, make sure you guys do all that great YouTube stuff. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you know when we drop all our newest videos. And we love the engagement. We love the roster reviews, stuff like that. So when we also have a new way you guys can drop them for us. So if you guys want to join the Discord, a link will be to that in the description below as well. You can drop roster reviews, pictures, and stuff like that, and just chat with us too if you want. So yeah, we're just here to have a good time. And Eric, you got anything for the people before we go?
I think you covered basically all of it, but just to reiterate, code FFLW on Underdog for league winners. It's the best way to support us. It's the best way to support the league winners. And it's the best way for you to go make some money on Underdog because you get that 100% deposit match. So go do that. And also check out our boy Zay's merch. The code for that was what? FF Ballbusters 15, right?
FF Ballbusters 15 for 15% off all merch on snacks.online. That link will be down in the description below.
So there we go. That's it, baby. Let's get out of here.
Peace.
Peace.